Hello, everybody. Welcome to the webinar today. Our speaker is working out with technical problems. I guess we all understand, how technology could cheer us up, but also let us down sometimes. So let's see if we can fix it in a few minutes. But thanks for joining us today. My name is Sam Wong. I am the admissions manager here at Hong Kong Baptist University. I think some of you have received my emails, and really glad to see some familiar names. So a very quick run through of what we are going to have today. So first of all, we will have the webinar on how Chinese medicine combating COVID. I think this is really sort of a norm for everybody, no matter where you are, where you're from. Um, COVID has been coming back and ticking off, but then it seems like they're coming back again. So we want to look at the role of Chinese medicine in this pandemic and see if it could bring some light to it. And afterwards, we will have an admissions talk, and we will divide it into two rooms. So if you are from Hong Kong, if you have Hong Kong passport or Chinese passport, you'll be applying as a non-JUPA student or JUPA student. And then we have a separate room, a dedicated colleague to answer your question about admissions. And for those of you who are from overseas, who needs a visa to study in Hong Kong, please stay with me here in this room, and I will give you a short admission talk on um, Hong Kong Baptist. So before we start, maybe we can have a very quick poll on where you come from. Uh, for those of you who are from Hong Kong, could you please raise your hand, like virtually? Raise your hand, just to get an idea, like from Hong Kong or from China. Thank you, Karen. So we have a few. Vincent, welcome. For those of you who are from overseas, I think this is a very timely topic because we are actually um, sort of having our worst battle with COVID since the outbreak. If you have been following the news, you probably have heard of it. All right, Dr. Yu is here. Let's see if we can hear from him. Dr. Yu, could you please unmute?
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. So, with very warm welcome, we have today Dr. Kevin Yu. It's always a joy to listen to sharing of Dr. Yu from the School of Chinese Medicine. So, without further ado, Dr. Yu,
Oh,
let me pass the time to you.
okay. Thank you, Sam. Okay. A very warm welcome to students and teachers, to joining this the talk. Okay. Let me just say. Okay. I'm Kevin Yu. Okay. I'm in fact one of the founding members of the School of Chinese Medicine. I was trained in UK and I was a lecturer in medical school in UK. And then I returned to Hong Kong in 1998 and became one of the founders of the School of Chinese Medicine in the Baptist University. But I'm very interested in Chinese medicine. So after I returned, I also undertook to study Chinese medicine part-time. It took me 6 years. So I'm now also a Chinese medicine doctor. Okay, so I'm sure you are all aware we are now, under the tyranny of the COVID-19. We are not out of the blue yet. Okay, as every day there's still so much sufferings and people getting infected, so many deaths. It is actually very heartbroken. Anyway, but I must actually say Chinese medicine, in fact, plays a very important, in fact, a contribution in combating the COVID-19. In fact, I must admit, for Western medicine, actually, we are very limited in the number, the number of medications towards the virus. most of the drugs and the medications we have, in fact, are non-specific. Okay, so Chinese medicine, they have a very different approach, because they were actually very interesting. The focus, in fact, although they focus on the pathogens, in this case the virus, but they play a more emphasis on the patient. Okay, so this is in fact very major difference between Western medicine and Chinese medicine. For Western medicine, we always focus on disease. Okay, but in Chinese medicine, the focus is on the patient. It's just that the patient has a disease. Okay, and in the treatment, the focus is not really how to eliminate the virus, but rather how to boost the immune system, of the patient, so that the patient can overcome the disease. Okay, so that's why the whole thinking is very different. Okay, so anyway, so well, I mean, I'll just try to share with you some of the contribution, in fact, and how Chinese medicine contribute in combating the COVID-19. Okay, can you hear? Can you see the slide? Okay, right. Okay. So, well, Chinese medicine obviously plays an important role, because I'm sure in fact the fact demonstrated in China, I mean, 2 years ago, in Wuhan, actually, well, there's supposed to be the outbreak, and then actually, this there's a lot of suffer, and a lot of patients got infected in China, but then China seems to contain the pandemic very well. In fact, although there's an outbreak, but I think in last year, in March last year, most of the patients has already been contained, and in fact, most of the patients who have got infected, or in fact were treated with using Chinese medicine. Initially, Chinese medicine did not play a very important role during the initial outbreak. But I think, because I'm sure you all be aware, Chinese medicine plays a very, important contribution in the healthcare system in China. So quickly, Chinese medicine, take a very active role in the treatment of the patients, and it has been demonstrated. The effects, in fact, is very good. So that's why from March last year, all the patients who had got the COVID-19, that's a mandatory, and that they have to also involve Chinese medicine treatment. So that's why the outcome I think is really amazing. It's very good. So in Chinese medicine, basically they use this the free granules, free formula strategy. So because Chinese medicine look at disease quite differently. Okay, for Western medicine, of course, we look at the disease. We always try to find out. When a patient comes, we're always trying to find out. What disease the patient is suffering, and what disease it is, what causes the disease. But for Chinese medicine, when the patient comes, they do not just care about the disease, but they also cares about what we call the constitution of the patient. 不同的体质, some people may have what we call the cold type, or the hot type, or the damp type. Okay, a lot of students always ask me, oh, how do I know, I'm the cold type, I'm the warm type? Very simple. Okay, now last time when you go to a restaurant, okay, when the waiter or waitress offer you a drink, okay, which kind of drink you find it more comfortable? Is it a hot drink or cold drink? Oh, of course, it depends on the weather. Okay, Hong Kong is very cold at the moment, so of course everyone will go for the hot drink. Okay, but I think for a normal, a situation, what kind of drink will you feel more comfortable? Okay, so a lot of people, even when they do not have a very during the midst of summer, very hot. Okay, they still prefer drinks which are warm, definitely not cold drink. Okay, so those people are what we call the cold type. Okay, so I think this is a very straightforward way of, although it's oversimplified, but I think it is a more strict, way, at least to have some idea whether you are the hot type or the cold type. Okay, well, so according to Chinese medicine, so it depends on, in fact, well, they will start off with the 金发清港, the granule, and the 莲花清瘟, capsule. I don't know, but I think I'm sure you heard from the news in Hong Kong. That's actually we are now in the fifth wave. The Omicron, is very contagious. I think yesterday over 7,000 people in Hong Kong got infected. So I think a lot of citizens in Hong Kong are rushing to buy this, the 金发金港胶囊、莲花清瘟胶 capsule. And actually they are really sought after, because I think they realize, oh, this really helps, to combating the disease. Actually, I'm going to elaborate more on this. They also have what we call the Fashi Baidu formula. It all actually depends on, the progression of disease. For the first one, 金发清港 granule, it is actually, what we normally call the upper respiratory symptoms. Okay, you have a cough, you may running nose, but you do not have very serious, discomfort. And then, the 莲花清瘟胶囊 is actually more serious. Okay, then, you may have actually, have high fever and so on. Okay, and then the third one, the Fashi Baidu is even more serious disease. Okay, so it seems that the Chinese medicine look at actually the conditions of the patients, and actually they always have a formula, okay, which will be suitable for a patient. But of course, it also depends on as I mentioned, the constitution of the patient. Very simple, actually. If I give you an example, then you understand. Well, for the COVID-19, okay, it is actually start with a cold nature. Okay, so which means actually for those people with a cold constitution, okay, they can get the disease much easier than the one which is hot. Okay, so that's why even in the same family, okay, so someone will contract the disease, but the other family members may not, or your friend or your friends, even when you have a meal together, someone may get the disease while the other may not. I think it's also to do with the constitution. Okay, so sometimes constitution does plays a role, whether we get the infection or not. Okay, anyway, I think another thing about the Omicron is actually it is very contagious. Okay, and yet actually the virulence, what we call, is not as serious as the other Delta variant forms or the original coronavirus form. Okay, so using this kind of formulas, China's has been doing very well. In fact, I would say get the upper hand of winning the battle. Okay, well, there's some data. So well, of course, these are very old data. So in Wuhan, over the 102 patients, they have the 金发清港胶囊, the light symptoms. Okay, in fact, the majority, okay, of them, the conditions improve. And the amazing thing is, that even they have a fever, although they have a very low fever, their fever comes down dramatically. Okay, when we go to the more serious way, actually, all of this, have a bigger, patient pool. All of this, nearly 1,200 patients. The majority of them, 1,100 of them recover. Okay, and actually, and the amazing thing is, there's no case in which this is the patients, the conditions deteriorate. I.e., with the treatment of Chinese medicine, okay, you may contract the virus. Okay, you may progress. You may go to more serious symptoms. But with the intervention of Chinese medicine, the patients, the conditions always improve. Okay, they do not go to very serious cases, need a respirator or even deaths. Okay, so the China medicine, is been demonstrated to be really effective in combating the COVID-19. So I'm sure there's a lot of the evidence with the Delta. I think I think it is now a compulsory that you have to use Chinese medicine. Okay, so but of course. Chinese medicine, we do not just talk about treating disease. We're also talking about, how to improve, the boosting of what we now call the immune system. Okay, so sometimes you use, exercise, do a lot of, others to boost your immune system. Okay, so this is actually the figures. Okay, it is really detrimental because there are more and more deaths, especially in the States and in Europe. I think I don't know. Actually, a lot of governments are now opening their borders. I think against the advice of the World Health Organization. I think, it may not be a wise idea to do that. In China, okay, well, you just now you can see, there are millions, 400 and over 400 million, okay, confirmed cases. But in China, it is only, the one much less than even 1 million. And in terms of deaths, okay, you can see, in the world there are 5 million deaths, but in China there's only around just over 5,000 deaths. Okay, so Chinese medicine has been really, really important in contributing. Even when the patients contracted the disease, if the intervention of Chinese medicine, the patients, improve. But most importantly, they do not need to go to ICU, the emergent, the critical care units, and even deaths. Okay, so I think with I'm sure you have heard about they are very good in treating as well. So what happened is actually the Tcells plays a very important role in the treatment even of Omicron infections. Okay, because the thing about Chinese medicine, interestingly, is of course you have the Delta variants, you have the Omicron variants. There may be some subtle differences of the virus, but according to Chinese medicine, they actually they of course care about the disease, but they care about what happened when the patient contract disease. Okay, so sometimes I use an example, probably you understand. If you use the disease to see the disease, or in this case the COVID-19 coronavirus, okay, as the seed, and then actually the seed has to be implanted on the soil and grow. Okay, so sometimes it depends on what type of soil it will be. As I mentioned, give the virus is of a cold and damp nature. Okay, so those of the soil condition in which it is very damp and very cold will easily contract the disease. I.e., the seed when it get into this kind of soil, it will be grow much easier than the soil which is very dry and very warm or hot. Okay, so Chinese medicine do not just look at the seeds, but also the soil condition. Okay, so Chinese medicine, what Chinese medicine doing is try to manipulate or micro manipulate the soil condition such that the seed will not grow. Okay, so that is exactly what Chinese medicine is doing. So for even for Omicron, so Chinese medicine look at what happened of the symptoms as manifest in the patients, and then prescribe respectively. Okay, so well, probably as I mentioned, the Qinggang Jingwen Gaolang, in fact, is very sought after in Hong Kong. Even the Pakistani health authorities, they have a very successful clinical trial, and they already demonstrate that, early this year, So Well, okay, so China medicine at the moment is also contributing significantly in Hong Kong as well. I think a lot of patients, in fact, with the very major outbreak at the moment, a lot of actually patients are seeking advice and treatment in Chinese medicine. I think our school, in fact, this week has also doing online the consultation for those who contracted the COVID-19. I think we are trying our best, to helping the patient. Well, I think let's just go back to our school. I think, well, I mean, hope that you have an interest in Chinese medicine. Chinese medicine is really good. So say, oh, wow, I'm very interested in Chinese medicine. So in fact, our university do offer two programs. One is on Chinese medicine, and the other is what we call the Chinese pharmacy. So the two programs are quite different. The Chinese medicine, the focus is on training graduates, so that they have a sufficient Chinese medicine knowledge. Also they also have knowledge on acupuncture, the Toila and orthopedics and so on. They can treat patients. For the Chinese pharmacy, okay, so they actually have to develop those kind of herbs, okay, because just now the different granules, the formulas, do not just develop by Chinese medicine doctors alone. It must be also be the involvement of Chinese pharmacists. Okay, so we're working together to develop and come up with herbs. Also, you must understand for Western medicine, the drugs are usually synthetic compounds, but for Chinese medicine, because it is individualized treatment, so actually, they use the formula, and it is usually consists of many herbs. Okay, and that's what we normally call it is multi-targeted. Okay, they target different systems. So so we need actually to further develop and also provide evidence to confirm to demonstrate the efficacy of Chinese medicine. And I think this need Chinese medicine and Chinese pharmacy working together. Okay, so that's why we provide two courses. The Chinese medicine is a double degree course, okay, which means after 6 years of hard studying, you got a Bachelor of Chinese medicine, and you also get a Bachelor of Science in biomedical science. Okay, and then we also have the 4-year Chinese pharmacy program. Okay, so for our school, we are committed always provide quality academic programs. That we only have 2 programs, and both programs are professional programs. We are also, because research, dictate, the education. So actually, we focus a lot about research and technology as well. So I'm happy to say that in terms of research, I think there are actually a lot of evidence. There are a survey which actually has demonstrated we rank #1 in the world. Okay, and also we offer healthcare services. Okay, first we have, in fact, we have 10 healthcare clinics operated by the School of Chinese Medicine, and we also have another 6 with partners with others NGOs. Okay, so we are committed to the standardization, modernization, and internationalization of Chinese medicine. Okay, so as I said, we are now in the leading position of Chinese medicine in higher education in Hong Kong. Actually, probably you also heard from the news that the Hong Kong is going to have the first Chinese medicine hospital, okay, in Jiangguanlou, and it will be start run operating in 2025. Okay, and in early this year, the government has already decided this Chinese medicine hospital is going to be operated and run by the Hong Kong Baptist University under the School of Chinese Medicine. Okay, so we are in the leading position in Chinese medicine in Hong Kong. In fact, our chief executive, Mrs. Carrie Lam, actually came to visit our university, our school, and actually I think she also said, outside China, Hong Kong Baptist University is probably the leading institution in Chinese medicine in the world. Okay, so that's what we do. We're focused, on education, provided, high quality, proficient graduates in Chinese medicine, in Chinese pharmacy. We also provide, the health service, and we have a very, very strong research team. Um, Actually, we use a lot of the state of the art, research. In fact, our laboratory is not just in the campus, but we also in the science park, and also in Zhuhai, Shenzhen. Okay, so we have, as I mentioned, we have two programs. So with the 6 years, the double degree, a Bachelor of Chinese Medicine and Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Science, and a Bachelor of Pharmacy in Chinese Medicine, the 4 years. Okay, one on the clinic, okay, on the treatment of patients, and one of the herbs. Okay, well, for the Chinese medicine, so we always try to train Chinese medicine or graduates, not just based on Chinese medicine, but have a very a strong grasp of modern science and technology. Okay, because we are talking about the modernization of Chinese medicine, the internationalization of Chinese medicine. Okay, so it's not just on the prevention of a disease, diagnosis, or disease, but also how to integrate. Because when we train Chinese medicine graduates, we always train graduates so that they in future they can work in a hospital, okay, hospital setting, and communicate with the Western medical doctors. For the Chinese pharmacy, I think it's very important, because most of the herbs actually are plants, okay, which means when it is plants, okay, depends on the soil conditions, the growing conditions, geographic conditions. So all this actually you require authentication, identification, and make sure there's about quality control. Okay, so it's very important, because even if you have a correct treatment, correct diagnosis, but if you don't have the proper herbs, you cannot treat the patient effectively. Okay, so that's why the Chinese medicine and the Chinese pharmacy have to work closely together. Okay, so but we also dedicate in the research and development of new Chinese medicinal products. Okay, so I'm sure you are very interested about this program. So how do I get in? Okay, very simple. For the Chinese medicine program, the biology is important. Okay, because that is about the human, and the biology is important, of course. And also because it's on Chinese medicine, there's some of Chinese medicine classes, so the Chinese language is important also. And all the Chinese medicine courses are taught in Chinese. And the biomedical science, the Western medicine, are taught in English. So that's why we require both languages, the Chinese language, English language, and the biology. For the pharmacy program, apart from the Chinese language and the English language, the chemistry is important, because the structures, the quality control, the identification of chemicals is important. So that's why for the Chinese medicine program, biology is important. For the Chinese pharmacy program, chemistry is important. Okay, so that's I want to share. See if you have any questions. Am I talking too fast?
Thank you, Dr. Yu. I think a student they might have questions about how Chinese medicine combating COVID. We have one already, which is in
Okay.
the chat box. So the question is regarding vaccination. Is it mandatory to do it? Does it really support our immune system to combat the virus? That was the question.
Actually, interestingly, because this idea about vaccination, in fact, the Chinese medicine think about that, because as I told you before, the focus of Chinese medicine is not is not just on the pathogen. In this case, the COVID-19, the coronavirus, but on the patient. Okay, so what does vaccination do? The vaccination, you inject the foreign antigen, okay, or inactivated antigen. On here, you even the messenger RNA, okay, you get into your immune system and induce an immune response. So the thinking, in fact, the concept, in fact, is more akin towards Chinese medicine, because Chinese medicine, the focus is always how to use your own defense system to combat the disease. Okay, for Western medicine, the focus where a lot usually focus on how to eliminate the virus or to eliminate the pathogens. Okay, so so I think vaccination is in fact very similar to the concept of Chinese medicine, because we try to use our own immune system to combat the disease. Okay, so is it mandatory to do so? Actually, from whether let's just say it's from a Chinese medicine or even for Western medicine perspective, from a medical point of perspective, I think it is definitely well, highly recommended. Okay, I think the problem at the moment, okay, is the vaccines are only concentrated in very few countries. Okay, i.e. the very rich countries. In fact, those in the poor Africans, a lot of places, the third world countries, the vaccination rate is very low. Okay, it is very worrying, because if you remember, where does Delta comes from? India. Okay, when you don't have enough vaccinations, a lot of people getting infected, then the possibility of having mutations, because virus, that's the nature of virus, they mutate very quickly. So they mutate quickly, they come to a form which is very stable. They can trick the immune systems. They can and they become the prevalent form. Okay, so I think that WHO is absolutely right. You need to think of this one world system. Okay, give only very limited countries get all the vaccination, and the other countries, the majority, okay, do not get vaccinated and really get a lot of people infected. Then you always have new variants coming up. Okay, but according to actually the medicine, when a virus mutate, usually they tend to be less virulent, which means they tend to the potency tend to be less. But you never know. But if there are sufficient mutations, there always comes out bomb, get the one which is really very powerful, and then we go back to square one. So what we're going to have? New vaccinations. Okay, so I think we really need to think globally. Okay, so in short, definitely go and get a vaccination. I think the problem at the moment in Hong Kong is well, I think at the moment we are nearly getting nearly 90% of our population getting the vaccination. But the problem with Hong Kong is those who haven't got the vaccination are the elderly, and the elderly are the most vulnerable group. Okay, so I think I don't know, maybe I think actually maybe we are not doing our job right. We have not been actually promoting it, especially to the elderly, because think about it, most of the elderly will have a lot of problems, have chronic diseases. Okay, they always have the misunderstanding. If they have the vaccination, they are not going to have side effects. You may feel uncomfortable. They may even die. But the reality is actually very well. I mean, there's already a lot of evidences which already shown that even if the elderly die, it's not because of the vaccination. Okay, which means even if you don't have vaccinations, the patient may, well, the elderly may die anyway. So there's nothing to do with vaccination. But I think it's because I think the elderly associate with this kind of vaccination, so there's a very hesitant to get vaccination. That's a problem with Hong Kong. Okay, at the moment. So now, with this Omicron, everyone is rushing to get vaccination, because most of the deaths, in fact, over 90% of the deaths in Hong Kong are elderly, and especially those elderly who have not got vaccination. Okay, I give you an example. Actually, some of my colleagues actually in the States, I think this is 2 years ago. Actually, they told me in the early 2 years ago. Actually, there's a lot of deaths, to do with pneumonia, and also on. They think actually, but they actually suspect, because those patients have not been tested for COVID. I think they suspect, in fact, they most likely associate with COVID-19. Okay, And a lot of because actually my specialty is on diabetes. 1/3 of the patients who died are diabetic. But the band is actually a double jeopardy, because a lot of, because they are of chronic diseases, if they actually take the vaccinations, they may have a lot of side effects. Okay, they may feel really down. They may have they have a gastric problem. They have they may have even have mild fever. But I think you must actually view it as the lesser of two evils. Okay, you are protecting against deaths. Okay, because if you are chronic disease, once you get the COVID, then the probability of you getting to die is much higher than those suffering with no chronic diseases. Anyway, so that's my that's my observation in my opinion. Anyway, let me just say, wow, there's so many questions. Let me just, okay, have I answered the first question? Okay.
Yes, and the second question is from a student in Bangladesh, and I think he or she is asking sort of your view on a certain particular vaccination. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Or Sinopharm. Well, uh, well, actually, of course, the messenger RNA, the BioNTech is a very new technology. In fact, the Sinovac or Sinopharm are actually we use an inactivated antigen. Okay, which means you have a virus, you kill it, you inactivate it, then you inject it and raise an antibody. Okay, in your body. So all the previous, the Korea, the hepatitis, the Hep B, and all this, this technology has always been used many years, and it's a very established technology. Okay, but then bang, this new new technology, the messenger RNA. Well, it is a very new technology. In fact, it is actually in terms of cost, it is much cheaper to develop the messenger RNA the vaccine than inactivated the vaccine which China has been doing. Okay, so China is spending a lot of money, okay, and time and effort to doing it. Okay, I think because they have they're very good, because they have the money, they have the people, they can do that. But well, in a lot of situations, I think he has already demonstrated that this new technology, is very good in raising antibody. Because actually a lot of people, so that's why when they have the BioNTech and when they have this messenger RNA vaccine, the immune response tend to be much higher. Okay, they may feel very unwell, they may have a fever and so on. Okay, so in a sense, it's good, which means your body is responding. Okay, and actually it's true, the titer, the number of antibodies actually, having the messenger RNA is higher than the inactivated one. But to be honest, for the bottom line is, even for the Delta, I'm not talking about the original COVID-19, for the Delta and for the Omicron, any vaccine will do. Okay, I think it is now a matter of vaccination or unvaccination. Okay, because you even if you have a vaccination, you give your, because in order to be recognized by the WHO, the antibodies, okay, has to be has to be over 50%. Okay, and of course for the Sinovac is 60%, 70%, and also for if you have two vaccination, it's go to the 80%. Okay, so any vaccination will do. Okay, so but of course, then another question actually probably you need to ask is for the Sinovac and for the Sinopharm, because it's inactivated, probably you need to have more frequent vaccination than the BioNTech. Okay, but well, to me, any vaccination will do. Okay, it's just a matter of understand the what's meant by the booster. Because when you actually when you get vaccinated, okay, so your bodies will produce antibodies, and then you have these cells, okay, not just producing the antibodies, you have got these memory cells, okay, but you can imagine these memory cells with time got Alzheimer's disease, okay, so they become memory. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I forget what the antigen look like. So you actually give in a vaccination to slap them. Okay, wake up. Okay, so they wake up. Okay, so that's what the booster do. Okay, so So it means, give they, maybe for the, those kind of, because of the title, they do not have many. So that's why you need to have the reminder. You need to send in the reminder more frequent. Okay, but in any case, you have the most important is the antibodies. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Let me just look. How?
If I may, I want to just shuffle a bit because a student raised a question which is like a follow-up question. So I think it's the right timing. The question goes like this: as long as the pandemic goes on, does China plan to keep producing medicine or vaccination to help prevent or cure new variants or mutations?
Okay, I think in any battle, okay, give you give you the government, of course you use every avenue to win the battle. Okay, I think China is of course developing vaccines. I think they're also developing own medicines, okay, as well. But but of course they also have Chinese medicine. Okay, so they are using every means and methods. Okay, I think if you want to win the battle, of course you do not just have one tool or one weapon. The best is have multiple weapons. Okay, so you have you have the better chance of winning the battle because it's all about life and death. Okay, it's all about give a lot of your citizens, of your people got infected. Okay, first of all, there will be a lot of deaths, but you can imagine your economy will go to a standstill. Okay, which most of people got sick and cannot go to work, or you affect your production line, affect everything. So I think that's why a lot of government is trying to to raise against time to make sure the people are okay. So I
And
think China is doing a lot of both.
thank you, Dr. Yu. And before we move on to the admissions part, I think one of the audience asked a great question as like a wrap up for this session. What will the future of Chinese medicine look like?
Mm. Okay, I think I give you actually interesting. I give you an actually survey. I think this is in the late 1990s. Towards the end of the last century. I think there's a study in the States. Okay, they found out that out of 5 Americans, okay, in the early 1990s, out of the 5 Americans, 4 will go to see Western medical doctors, and 1 will go to see what they call alternative medicine. Okay, but towards the late 1990s, during the turn of the century, it's really interesting. It's reverse. Okay, 4 Americans will go for the alternative medicine, and 1 will go to see a Western medicine because I think they realize, the problem of Western medicine. Okay, well, we are very good. Okay, we in combating the disease, but actually, that there are always a lot of side effects. Okay, I give you an example. Probably you understand. Do you understand why the Western medicine do not need to take into consideration of individual differences? Very simple. Okay, if you have a graph, okay, of these background noises, if I have the medicine, so I use a very high dosage. Okay, so it means that I ignore all the backgrounds. Okay, and when you have a very high dosage, of course, you have a lot of side effect. And also, they only very target in single system. But for Chinese medicine, because they are using herbs, okay, they do not just use one drugs, they use herbs, they use a target multi-system. And also it's tailor-made. Okay, so that's why the dosage does not need to be a lot. Okay, so that's why Chinese medicine do not have a lot of side effects. I give you an example. I always talk to my students, probably you understand. Probably you realize, young people, develop the disease very quickly, but they tend to get better quickly. Okay, but when you get older and older, the disease get to be more and more complicated. Does it always occur to you, why is that the case? Is it because our system, immune system, our immune system is still the same? Okay, well, I think one of the reasons is actually because the Western medicine, sometimes we look at the diseases, if the pathogens is not there, give you don't demonstrate or manifest clinical symptoms, from a Western medicine point of view, you are already treated. But for the Western medicine, for Chinese medicine, you talk about the yin and yang, the balance, all this. So actually, this is an imbalance of the different system, which eventually bring out the what we call manifest as a clinical symptoms. Okay, so according to Chinese medicine, it is not just the disappearance of the clinical symptoms, but actually you need to go deeper, okay, to eventually bring about a balance of the yin and yang of the different systems. In which case, you pay better. So that's why the Chinese medicine do not just look at the disease, but also look about general health condition of people. Okay, so that's why you should do exercise. That's why they do the Tai Chi and all this. No, because it talk about health maintenance. Okay, so what happened is, give we just treat according to Western medicine, we think the disease has been treated, but in fact, according to Chinese medicine, it is not really the case. Okay, I use an example, but you understand. Just like if you have a piece of white paper, okay, if you put some dirt into it and you try to rub it, okay, but if you have not cleaned up all the all the dirt, whatever, okay, when the next they come out, then the paper get more and more muddy. Okay, this is exactly the case, from a perspective of Chinese medicine. Because from a Western medicine point of view, all these diseases have been treated, but for Chinese medicine, not really the case. Okay, so all this, the remnants of things, get muddy and muddy. Okay, so anyway, so I think anyway, according to WHO, I think a few years ago, they already they emphasize the alternative medicine is to play a very important role in the world medicine. Okay, and Chinese medicine is a very important component of this alternative medicine. Okay, I think you need a one bell one roll. Probably the China's because I think, to be honest, if it is good, I think the Chinese are very willing to share with other people. Okay, and probably you won't realize, I think the Chinese government have been sending a lot of people, a lot of medical personnel to actually to African countries and helping to treat them. Okay, because they are very poor and they don't have the resources, and they actually they and it's very effective. Okay, and the amazing thing is, it's about acupuncture, because acupuncture has been demonstrated to be the most effective on Africans. Okay, on Africans, yeah, it's really amazing. Anyway, it's another story.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yu. I think in terms of time, we probably have to end it here, but I hope
Okay, sorry.
everybody enjoy. No. It's really, I learned a lot as well. I mean, I totally want to go back and check on my constitution. But I guess we will leave it here today and move on to the admissions part. So
Sure.
for those of you, as I explained at the beginning, for those of you in the audience, if you are from Hong Kong, if you have a Hong Kong passport or Chinese passport, then you are welcome to apply as a non-JUPAS applicant. Please join my colleague in another Zoom room where I have put the link here in the chat. And my colleague Frank will be there to answer your questions specifically for the non-JUPAS scheme. So please feel free to join that room now. I have pasted in the chat. And for those of you who are from overseas, meaning you need a student visa to study in Hong Kong, but you are not a Hong Kong citizen, please stay for a very brief admissions talk on um, HKBU.
Okay,
Okay.
let me just say, if you have any questions, concerning about, child medicine or about the course, by all means, okay, just write, to the AR, and I think AR can actually relay the question to me, and I'll always answer your questions. Okay.
I will definitely do that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, everyone in the audience, Dr. Yu's mailbox is open to you. All
Okay.
right. So I guess the locals still have move on. So let me start a very quick introduction of Hong Kong Baptist University on
Okay,
our
maybe I'll go and join them.
feel
You okay?
free. Yeah, sure, no problem. Feel free.
Okay. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
click the link in the chat box will do.
Right. Right.
So thank
Okay.
you,
Right.
Dr.
Sure. Okay.
Yu.
Right. Okay. 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 Bye, everyone. Okay,
Goodbye.
bye bye,
Thank
bye bye.
you. Okay, so for those of you who are here, thank you very much for saying. I will start by introducing Hong Kong as the study destination. So I believe you have heard of Hong Kong, even if you haven't been here. And Hong Kong is a great destination in terms of opportunities and quality living. So on the left-hand side, you will see uh, the high-rise building, typical photos of Hong Kong. Indeed, it's a highly developed economy. It's a very competitive economy. Given our geographical location, we have world-class connectivities. This is a trilingual city, so both Chinese and English are official languages, and we use Cantonese in our daily lives. So it's a trilingual city, and all universities in Hong Kong use English as the medium of instruction, so you don't have to worry about languages. Hong Kong is also a quality education and research hub in the region. You can find us on many rankings in terms of research or the quality of university. And it also welcomes international students in the sense that you are allowed to stay in Hong Kong after graduation to look for jobs. That is allowed by the immigration policy. So that is why it's a city of opportunities. And when you look at the photo on the right-hand side, you will see a guy on a sort of a small mountain on the peak. It's actually very close to us. You can actually see us in the photo. 40% of Hong Kong is actually preserved as country park. You'll be surprised. In contrast to the high-rise building, the fast-paced lifestyle, we also have beautiful nature. We and that is why this is a city of quality living, because you got the combination of both metropolitan and nature. And of course, we celebrate diversified culture here. I think we have one of the best, if most efficient transportation system in the world. And if you are a foodie, this is definitely paradise for you. We have great food in Hong Kong. So this is what Hong Kong offers to international students. And at Hong Kong Baptist, we offer this. So this is a welcoming and supportive community. We were founded by the Baptist Convention in 1956, that's why the name, but we have no religious requirement or curriculum. We open to everybody. You don't have to be religious to join the university. We are one of the government-funded university, so we are heavily subsidized by the government. And as I mentioned, English is the medium of instructions. You do not have to be able to speak Chinese to apply, but you will have the chance to learn Chinese when you join us. We are located in the city center, which makes it very convenient for our students to explore the city, especially for international students. And I have also included our ranking here to give you an idea where we are on the world ranking. In terms of student population, we are actually very small. We are the second smallest in terms of undergraduates in Hong Kong. We have over around 7,100 students, but we have over 730 full-time faculty and teaching staff. So this is a highly personalized learning experience. Your teacher will get to know you as a person, uh, knowing your name, as a person, not just a number, and you'll be able to discuss with your teacher about your aspiration, your challenges. And I think that is what is unique about us. Now, in terms of education, we have 7 faculties and schools, and this is a quick overview of what they offer in each faculty. So for Faculty of Arts, we have creative writing, English, humanities, 2 music programs. Our School of Business is actually the only triple accredited business school in Hong Kong, among 1% business school around the world that are triple accredited. And they offer majors in accounting, economics, entrepreneurship, finance, human resources, and marketing. Our School of Chinese Medicine, as Dr. Yu has introduced, offer 2 programs, one in Chinese medicine, biomedical science, and one in pharmacy in Chinese medicine. Our School of Communication and Film has 5 majors: journalism and digital media, PR and advertising, game design, animation, film and TV, and a very unique and pioneer program in acting. Our science faculty have major in applied biology, chemistry, computer science, mathematics and statistics, physics, and green energy. And then our social sciences have a great lineup with international study, geography, European studies, sociology, PE, and recreation management. And then last but not least, our visual arts. Now, I want to highlight that for our arts business, um, communication and science, and actually also social science as well, they run on what we call broad-based admission. It means that when you apply, you do not have to declare a major. So for example, if you are interested in business, in BBA, you can apply to BBA year one, and then you don't have to declare a major. So in your first year, you can take subjects from all these different majors, and towards the end of the first year, you can choose one or even two in the case of business as your majors, which you can focus on starting from year two onwards. Other than classroom learning, we offer lots of different opportunities and experience for our students. So first of all, we have an extensive student exchange programs. We have over 350 exchange partners in over 40 different destinations. We send students abroad for field trips when travel allows. I mean, when it's possible to travel. And we have internship opportunities in Hong Kong and overseas. We also make service learning part of our curriculum, so our students can, study hard, have fun, but also serve the greater good of the society. And apart from that, we also have a lot of initiative in entrepreneurship and research opportunities for undergraduate students. We also prepare them for the real world for sure through career planning. So I mentioned earlier internship. We also have a lot of counseling workshop to teach students how to go to interview, to work on their CV. We have online job fairs. We have networking session for students to meet with potential employers. So you can see that on the right hand side of the pie chart, you can see that our students, most of them have a very clear idea what to do after graduation, and over 80% of them get a job shortly after graduation. Now, moving on, if we are looking at the requirements, primarily there are two parts. On the left-hand side, there is the university entrance requirement. We actually accept a wide range of qualifications. I'm only listing a few here, which are the international ones with a lot of applicants. But we also accept a lot of local qualifications. So if you don't see your curriculum listed here, don't worry, go to our website and check whether it's included. On the right-hand side, you will see the English language requirements. So all applicants are required to fulfill the English language requirements. And again, we accept a very long list of tests. So other than TOEFL, IELTS, you can also use your IB, IGCSE, Cambridge English test result to fulfill the English requirement. Some programs have program requirements, as Dr. Yu mentioned. For example, Chinese medicine requires Chinese language proficiency, and also, for example, music, then they require, students are required to provide music exam results. Now, our applications are very unique in the sense that we process application on a rolling basis, meaning we process application as they come in. We do not wait until a deadline to process the applications, and we divide the application into 3 rounds. So the early round we have started in October, and the main round was in December and January. We are now in the extended round, which will be open all the way until the end of May. Now, application is to be done online, so you just fill in the form, upload documents. If they are confidential to you, then you can ask your teacher to send it to us directly by emails. And everybody get 2 choices, so you'll be evaluated by your first choice. If you got rejected by your first choice, then you'll be sent to your second choice. And you can apply with your predicted grades or your latest transcript before you get your final result. So you don't have to wait until you get your, say, A-level exam result or IB result to apply. We will evaluate your application based on what we have on hand, and you will be considered for admission offer and scholarship as well with those documents. So you don't have to wait until the exam result release. After submitting the application, if suitable, you'll be invited for an interview. Most likely, most programs interview students, especially if you're being considered for scholarship, and it will be an online interview. And at the end, there will be a result. You could receive, say, a firm offer or a conditional offer if you haven't had your exam result, and it could be a conditional offer with scholarship. So that is possible. Now, for fees and scholarship, here is a summary of the fees and estimated expenses. So we are looking at about 25,200 to 700 US dollar per annum, uh, which covers tuition, on-campus accommodation, and personal expenses. So we do have on-campus dormitory, and all international freshmen will be given spots at the dormitory in their first year. And if you get a full scholarship, then university accommodation will be provided to you throughout the entire program period. Now, for scholarship, we do have admission scholarship for outstanding international applicants, and there are a few types. So the full scholarship go up to 195,000, which could be used to cover your tuition, on-campus accommodation, and what's left could be used for your living expenses. And then there is the tuition waiver, half scholarship, and some faculty offer one-off scholarship. This is a merit-based scholarship, so primarily we will look at your academic performance. But because we adopt a holistic approach, so we will also look at your personal attributes, your non-academic performance, and your interview performance. And the beauty of this scholarship is that you don't have to apply for it. So all applicants will be considered for scholarship if appropriate. No separate application is required. And this concludes my very brief admissions talk. So I will answer some questions. Feel free to type your questions here. And if you are interested, please do go to our website and also write to us. You're more than welcome to write to us. We are very quick with emails. And let me see. There is a question. I have gave GCSE English language in O level. Okay, so for computer science. So first of all, our requirements applies to all programs. So not just computer science. And this is a good question because then I can explain, and I would like to show you by showing you the our website here. So this is our website, and if you go to the requirement, you will see that English requirements here. So if you have done IGCSE English, and if you got grade C in first language English, then you don't need IELTS or TOEFL. You can fulfill the English requirements using that. Okay, and you can see that we accept a very long list of tests. So please do go and check it out. Okay, and there is another question also earlier about personal statement. So for personal statement, because this is not required, so we do not have guidelines. So for actually personal statement and reference letters are not compulsory, but welcome. You're welcome to submit that if you think that will help us to understand where you're coming from. And I would suggest if you would like to have some insight, I would suggest you to watch a webinar we have done earlier by our scholarship recipient. I'm trying to copy and paste the link here. And it's a webinar under the name How to Be a Competitive Candidate. And they are our full scholarship recipient, and they share how they prepared their application back then. So you may they also touch on personal statement. So you may want to go and have a look at that. Another question: can I apply with O-level result? This may I will be A-level exam 3 years, and do I need to A2? Okay, so for the requirements of for GCE A level, let me go back to the website. For A level, so if you come to our website, go to international curricula for A level. If you are looking at local curriculum, then you can go on regional. Okay. So for A level, our minimum requirement is grade E in at least 3 A level subjects, or grade E in 2 A level plus 2 AS subjects, not including Chinese or English. And the same subject cannot be counted on both A level and AS level. Okay. Okay. Is it difficult for Thai students to get scholarships? So, well, first of all, we treated everybody fairly. So, I would say competition is here. There is definitely competition, but you'll be competing against all other students, from around the world as well. And it will be for scholarship, it will be merit based. So, primarily we will look at your academic performance. But as I mentioned earlier, we will also look at your personal attributes and your um, interview performance. And I would say, like a tips here, I really strongly advise students to prepare for the interview because it's a critical part in the process, and it's really an opportunity for the faculty member to get to know where you're coming from and to let you shine. Because you can imagine everybody who won a scholarship, they are probably as strong as you are. Everybody is having 3 A's in at least 3 A level subject or even A star. So how can you make yourself stand out? So uh, by preparing for the interview uh, and showing how much you're dedicated to this program, how much you know about the program, how much commitment you are ready to give to this community, this institution, or your aspiration. That could be a game changer. That could really help the faculty to evaluate your case. And again, in the webinar I shared just now, our scholarship recipient had share how they prepare for the interview. So you are also very welcome to watch that one and see if you can get some insight from our full scholarship recipient. Let's see if we have any other questions here. Okay, I think I have answered all the questions for today. So I just want to show you this our contact information again. You're most welcome to contact us. We have dedicated colleagues for different countries. So please do contact us if you have any questions. And thank you once again for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. And we will upload the recording of this webinar to YouTube and share with you all. Thank you and goodbye.